So it's kind of funny. I've been working at making a lot of deck profiles recently. I've actually got something like 10 different deck profiles I've made. And I thought, why not come on Dueling Book and put a bit of work into learning these decks, optimizing them, and then releasing some profiles. And I've played, I think, something like 6 games tonight. With 5 of them, I've had people just disappear during the game. They just AFK'd. As soon as they've realised they can't win, they just AFK. Like, not even like, oh, it's game 2, it's obvious that it's over, so they quit. More like, game 1, this is game 1. Well, I think, no, this is game 2, but it wasn't even over. He won the first game, but then as soon as I won, it's like he just leaves, and it's just getting ridiculous. But anyway, I thought, why not give you guys the current profile that I'm doing. I'm going to have a lot more coming out. Obviously, I've been away for a bit. Yeah, just getting into the swing of things at work. Moved into a new house. Don't worry, the Yu-Gi-Oh show will be coming back soon. But just life. Life made it a bit difficult. But I'm more stable at the moment. So definitely, you can expect a lot more videos. But anyway, this is the Thunder Chaos profile. I took some inspiration from some other lists that have been topping. But yeah, I really like this deck. And I think one of the biggest strengths of this deck that I've been seeing is it can just really play through a lot. It's kind of it's a similar idea to the Thunder Chaos builds that we used to see really back in TOS format. But yeah, it just plays through everything, and that's what I like. There's so many starters, so many extenders. I guess the biggest weakness you'll see in this deck right now is cards like Winder or Barrier Statues. You don't have a good in-deck way of dealing with those. You just don't. And so generally, if I see those, a lot of times I'll just scoop and go straight to next turn because I'm probably not going to survive long enough. But ignoring that, you can play through back row quite well. You can play through most board. It's typical to play through 2 to 3 negates with this deck because it just extends like no man's business, which is awesome. So yeah, looking at the profile, obviously we're going to start with the Thunder package. So 3 Thunder Dragon, 3 Dragon Dark, 3 Dragon Raw, and where's the last one? Did I not put the last one? No, yeah, there is. And 1 Dragon Duo, and also 1 Thunder Dragon Fusion. So these cards are great because they get advantage when they're banished, and so they go really well with the Chaos cards. And then also Thunder Dragon Titan is just a nice kind of extra boss monster. It can pop threats on the field, can't get destroyed easily. Also, they're light and dark, so that's great for your Chaos plays. I mean, just in general, this Thunder Dragon package is really, really good. So that's why you want to play with these ratios. I don't bother playing the little one anymore. I used to play, I think it's Dragon Matrix, but I don't play anymore because it's just a bad card. That's really what I came down to realize. Like, its occasional effect of discarding to proc Titan is just useless. And the problem is, if you ever see it in your hand, it's literally a dead card. It will not do anything on that turn. So I just didn't like it, wouldn't play it. I know some people are going to be like, oh, you can use it to outwinder and stuff, but I mean, those cases will come few and far between. So you just really play 3 of all the good Thunders. The only reason why we played Dragon Duo is just because of his second effect is quite nice. It does a bit of recycling. And also because it's another Chaos card that you can go to like Dingisus and stuff. Babe's our Chaos card. You banish 1 light and dark for it. So you can go to Dingy and proc some effects with it. By and large, that's the worst one. You could cut that if you wanted to. But that's the Thunder Dragon package. Then moving on from the Thunder Dragon package, we obviously play a Danger, nice little Danger engine. So we've got 1 Jackalope, 1 2 Shinoko. I can't pronounce that, but whatever. Make fun of me in the comments. 1 Nessie and 1 Bigfoot. Dangers are awesome cards, just extenders, dark cards, again more fuel and bodies on the board. And what your goal is, by the way, your end board can vary, but most of the time you're going to be wanting something like an Appaloosa, Masquerena, and Titan. That kind of board is what you want. And it's not an incredibly powerful board, but the idea is that this board is hard for your opponent to break through. Like, they're not going to be able to kill you, and then you're going to be able to recur and just murder them the next turn. So that's definitely what you're going to be looking to do. But then moving on from those two, we then have our kind of melody target. So you play 3 Levianeer and 1 Shatos. Now, I really, really love this package, and I think that this is probably... Levianeer is one of the most underrated monsters like ever. I didn't realize just how good it was. So there's a couple of things that make it so awesome. Firstly, obviously, it's got 3 incredible effects depending on what you banish, and they tend to all be easy to activate. But the other thing is that Levianeer doesn't actually have a limit on how many times you can summon it per turn, and this has saved me so many times. I'm going to show a replay later on where this actually literally just saves me because I just bring it out twice in a turn. First time I don't use the effect, second time I do use the effect, and it really cucks my opponent because he obviously wasn't expecting the second Levianeer in hand. Great target. Nemesis Shatos. This card is okay. It's not amazing. The main reason why it's so good at the moment is because it kind of destroys Dragon Link. By itself, if you can ever bring it out, obviously you're gonna easily bring it out in this deck again because you've got so many targets. And then by itself, without doing anything, you shut down Dragon Link if they try and do anything to you. So that's the main strength of this card. However, there are some plays you can do with Reprodocus and stuff to lock out any type you want. But yeah, in general, just a nice, it's another target. That's really what it comes down to. It's light and another target that you can play. The other one is not terrible. However, because we're mainly focused on lights and darks in this deck, you have to go into your extra deck for the other one to be live. I like this one because it means that even in my main deck, I have a boss monster. And I think that's the other advantage that I really like. You'll see again, I had a game against Dragoonity. I'll probably release that same day I release this, where I bring out this as my boss monster. He has Buster Lock, but just bringing out this and Levianeer is really hard for them to deal with. So you've got good main deck boss monsters, meaning that if you're locked out of the extra deck, you're still okay. Then moving on from that, we've got just generic Chaos stuff. So we've got Chaos Valkyria, really good. You've got the Dark Beckoning Beast and Chaos Summoning Beast. This is really just going to Curious and facilitate more Chaos plays. You've got your White Dragon and Black Dragon Wyver Buster, so the Chaos-based targets. This is obviously along with Chaos Valkyria. And the one Gizmek, because it's just a good card. This is also nice to proc your Topologic. Your Topologic is the budget boss monster. You're obviously going to be wanting to play something like Access Code in this deck. But for those of us who don't have loads of money to spend on Access Code, Topologic is a really good boss monster. I played it similarly in August. This deck doesn't really care if it banishes its cards, and so something like Topologic is really, really good for kind of I'm just kind of shutting out your opponent. You'll shut out a lot of decks because you can use Gizmek. Topologic is going to nuke the entire board, come back next turn, and then swing for game, which is really, really nice. A clutch card. Then as for spells, it's really just a whole bunch of extenders. Now, this deck has a similar thing to Invoke Shadows, where you can get away with not playing any hand traps or not playing board breakers and just focusing on going first, just because your deck is good enough going second. Like I said, the only thing that you generally lose to going second is when they put something like a Winder or a Barrier Statue. If they put Winder, it's not as bad because you have outs to Winder. If they put a Barrier Statue or something, or Vanities, then it is game. So that's the only thing you really lose outright to in this deck. Everything else, I would say you can probably come back from, and so that's why you can get away with not playing a lot of board breakers and stuff in the main deck. So really, it's just a bunch of extenders of your spells. So 3 Allure, insane card in this deck. 3 Chaos Space, again, great. Foolish Burial, I probably would cut. Foolish Burial and Gold Sark. Gold Sark is good. Foolish Burial is weird. It's really the only... The idea behind Foolish Burial, I guess, is dropping lights and stuff in the graveyard in case you don't have enough like valid materials. You can make your Thunder Dragon Fusion live. You can send your Orochi, little things like that. You can send your Valkyria to do searches. But in general, I've just found that at 1, and the sending in itself isn't amazingly useful most of the time. And at 1, I don't see it enough for it to be relevant. So you could drop this if you wanted to for Feather Dust or something instead. Harpy's Feather Dust would be a great card to main deck as well, I guess, in this deck, even though I don't have problems with back row. But anyway, yeah, Gold Sark is an okay card just because of Thunder Dragons. It basically searches any Thunder Dragon card you want. And then you've got your 3 Open and Spirit Gates. This engine, I love it. And the reason why I love it, because it's an essentially brickless engine. The worst scenario is that you just draw Chaos Summoning Beast and nothing else. And even in that, it's not terrible, because obviously Chaos Summoning Beast, you can normal summon it, go into something else, and like you've still got a body on field, which is nice. But yeah, Open and Spirit Gates, I really like this combo, obviously, because it's Curious, which means any card in your deck can go to the graveyard. 3 Melody, it's an insane card, so just the ability to resolve this is going to be awesome a lot of time on the 1 Thunder Dragon Fusion. But yeah, moving into the extra deck, so again, the idea is just generic link stuff, so there is quite a bit of flexibility, but in any case, we're going to start with the low link. So we've got the Reprodocus and the Relinquish Anima and the Link Karibo. These are your generic link ones. Reprodocus, not link one, sorry. Your Anima, Karibo, and your Striker Dragon. And these are your generic link ones. Striker Dragon allows you to proc your Black Dragons, and it basically means 1 Black Dragon can become a Link 2 as a result of Striker Dragon, which is nice. Then you've got your Anima and Link Karibo, which is used for your Opening the Spirit Gates combo, which you'll see later. You've got Reprodocus. Reprodocus is a nice card with its Shatters that can lock out any archetype, any type in the game. Then you've got your different nightmares. Again, Cerberus is probably the one I'd drop if I was to drop one of these. Cerberus tends to be the least useful. But then again, just general link for climbing, because this deck really does spout materials like no man's business. Then we've got our Masquerena and Curious. Masquerena is an insane card. It's almost good enough in this deck that I'd consider playing it at 2, just because it's so often that you have spare materials on board. But anyway, yeah, Curious, great card for dumping. You've got the Borosword and Appaloosa and the Topologic as our link 4s. Now, you don't need to play all of these. I'd say Appaloosa is the only one that I'll say is guaranteed that I really would play it, because like I say so many times, this deck has a lot of materials, but you don't need to play all 3. However, these are all good boss monsters, and these 2 especially are very budget, which is nice. I'll say the only expensive card in this, or semi-expensive card that is 100% necessary, is Appaloosa. I think just the ability to put those extra negates and not get cucked by Nibiru all the time, it's quite huge. But yeah, These two are good options for cheap boss monsters. Then you got the Dingy and the Dweller. This deck can put out rank 4s quite easily, obviously, because you've got a few rank 4s that you can put on field very quickly. And Dingy, for similar reason, you can spam level 8. And then you've also got the Thunder Dragon Titan. One of the things about Thunder Dragon Titan that I really love in this deck as well, obviously, is that when it's destroyed, when it would be destroyed by a card effect, it just banishes any card from your graveyard, not just Thunder Dragons, which again adds a second level of resilience. And again, you can proc some awesome like Chaos Valkyrie effects and your other Thunder effects, which is really good. So it's just a really nice card to have in the deck. I only play it one because it's rare that I need more than one, and you can recycle it if you really need to. But yeah, so that is the extra deck. Really good extra deck. I like this. You chock full of a lot of utility, and you've just got good matchups. There's really no weak matchups. I say Tri Brigades, you can grind with them quite well, and you can overpower them quite easily. If they banish cards, a lot of the times you don't care. Dragon Link, you destroy them because of a Shatter. So if you ever against Dragon Link, a lot of the times I'll put out a Shatter. If I'm just able to, I will, just in case I'm against Dragon Link, because I tend to go just first all the time. And yeah, you just cuck them completely. The biggest weakness I would say, like I said, is probably Dogmatica Shadow. Dogmatica Shadow, Invoke Shadow isn't the easiest matchup because of Winder. However, you can still play around, you just got to be a bit smart about it. But then that's when the extra deck comes into it. So let me quickly go into that. So you play 3 Shifter, 2 Nibiru, 1 Pancratops, and this is my kind of combo siding. So if I'm against combo, I'm siding in these and probably the Dark Rulers. And this just kind of stops them from getting too far ahead. Shifter's awesome because you don't really care about it and actually helps you in some scenarios. Nibiru is great. I would play 3 Nibiru, but just didn't really have the slots because I did want to play the 1 Trispaner. And Pancratops is just such a good card that I thought, you know what, it's okay. If I was going to go down on any other cards in here, I think it would be the Nibiru. So that's why I'm playing the 1 Pancratops, 2 Nibiru. But it's just a good card. It will destroy a lot of combo decks. And the funny thing is, even if it doesn't beat those combo decks because they're obviously running the gates, it just forces them to go through awkward combo routes a lot of the time, which is great. Then Dark Ruler, for the same reason, a really good card. You could actually main deck this. There is space to main deck Dark Ruler just because it will shut down some of your counters. However, I haven't come up against enough yet to feel like I need to main deck Dark Ruler, but yeah, still really good card. Trispaner and Zeraboros are kind of you switch them. So if I'm against Eldritch, for example, I often switch Trispaner in instead of Zeraboros, because what I like about Trispaner is it's a card they have to respond to. Zeraboros will do the same thing, but obviously you can get to this a lot quicker, and this doesn't nuke your own board. So it really just kind of or nuke your board, but you don't play spells and traps, so it doesn't matter. It really just kind of forces them to respond to it, and if they can't respond to it, if you know they've used all their effects or they've used their pop for the turn, you can really screw an opponent over by activating Trispaner, and now suddenly they lose cards. It's also burn, so it's good in time as well. We've got the 1 Feather Duster for the same reason. This is the back row package, I'd say. So the Trispaner, Feather Duster, 3 evenly matched, and 1 red reboot, and again, sometimes 1 Pancratops. That's against back row decks. So that's against your Dogmatica, Shadows, your Eldritches, your Altergeist, those kind of decks. You want to be siding in those. But anyway, guys, that is my Chaos Thunder profile. I really love this deck. Definitely give it a try. I'm going to be releasing some replays of me destroying people and all the different AFKs that I had with this deck. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.